Hello and welcome to Petrit Lush. Today I have the all-new model of the BMW 1 Series. This is the BMW M135i. And I will show you everything about the interior, the beautiful exterior, and of course the infotainment system. And we will listen to the sound of the car. So let's start with this review. People were concerned with the major news that the BMW 1 Series is no longer rear-wheel drive, but now mostly front-wheel drive. And BMW says that it all has to do with the packaging, because now it does have a lot more space inside and also more trunk space than before. Hence the 1 Series is bigger on the inside than the predecessor in about every single direction, without being bigger on the outside. This car is the M135 and it has 302 braking horsepower, coming from its new 2-liter multi-stage turbo engine. So let's have a look at the engine first. To open up the hood of the car, you simply pull this lever twice. And don't forget to pull it twice. And taking a look, we can see a beautiful BMW M Performance engine. It has a significant 331 pound-feet of torque. BMW's engineers simply didn't think they could get away with putting all this muscle to the front wheels, no matter how good the once 4-wheel drive platform might be. So they made it 4-wheel drive instead, but to be a little bit more accurate, part-time 4-wheel drive. But a real BMW fan usually cares a lot about the sound, so let's check it out. But first, let me show you the key of the 1. It's a nice key with the unlock button, open the trunk button, and on the side you have a nice BMW M Performance colors in the light blue, darker blue and the red. And as you might have noticed before in the video, as soon as I approach the car, it unlocks by itself because I had the key in my pocket. So let's see what happens when I approach the car. So without even using the key at all, it unlocks by itself. So let's start the car. Simply press this button over here to start. So it has a decent sound for a 2-liter engine. Not too many plops and crackles, but at least it is a deep sound. Of course, it's the 135i and not the 140i. But now let's take a look at the front design of this new model. Noticeable are these mean-looking BMW LED headlights. They're kind of frowning upon the car in front of it. Down here we can see these aggressive-looking bumpers. A nice kidney grille, iconic to BMW. Below here is where all the sensors are, for example, for the adaptive cruise control. Of course, because it's an M Sport car, there are of course a lot of air intakes on both sides, making it look extra sporty and helping cool off the engine. The hood of the car is of course with sporty lines here and there, and the wheel arches kind of are designed to make it look like they are broader than the car itself, even though they're pretty much the same size. And that brings us to this beautiful side of the car. Well, first of all, one thing I've noticed with the new model is that the hood doesn't look as long as with the predecessor. That might have to do with it being 4-wheel drive instead of rear-wheel drive, but still it has a very appealing design and the interior is simply amazing. But let's start off with the wheels and the rims. You can see blue brake calipers in the M Sport design. Nice twin spoke alloy rims with the M emblem here above the BMW emblem, and these are beautiful 19-inch rims. Here on the side of the car it has the M Sport emblem as well, but that brings us to the best part of this car from the side, and that's the way the rear looks. In my opinion, it looks very aesthetic with all these bulges and edges that the car has. Of course, iconic to BMW is the shark fin on top of the roof. From the side I also noticed that the windows start out larger and they go smaller towards the C-pillar in the back in a nice line. Another nice feature is that down below it has this weird gap. It's a nice touch to the design. Something I like in particular is the way the fuel tank looks. It also designed in a sporty way. Back to the rear end of the car, and this is actually the most important part because this is what people will be seeing once you surpass them on the highway. In my opinion, a beautiful design, a nice spoiler built in, and as you can see it has a huge gap below the spoiler into the glass. A deep slope from the glass and an edge downwards with the M135i emblem on the right side, and on the left side the X-Drive emblem. The tail lights go around the car to a very pointy edge. Down below, two round big exhaust pipes with in the middle a diffuser to finish it off. Now, before we take a look at the interior, let's first take a look at the trunk space. So let's open her up. You can also open her up with the key. Simply press the button and voila, it opens up. And the first thing I notice is it does have slightly more space than the predecessor, and you can of course also fold the seats forward to increase the trunk space by a lot. The trunk space increased by 0.7 cubic feet to 13.4 cubic feet, and even 42.4 cubic feet with a rear seat folded down. In addition, BMW now offers practical features like a usable compartment under the actual loading floor. You can also make the backrest of the rear seat steeper, which creates an additional 1.4 cubic feet of storage space. Now, to close up the trunk, you can simply press this button to close it or this button to lock the car and close the trunk. So let's close her up. I like how it goes automatic. And now let's have a look at the interior, because also that has changed a lot with all the new technology. So let's go. So door opens up as usual, nothing much changed there. Upon entering, the first thing I actually notice or can see is the M135 emblem at the bottom. Overall it has very nice materials, so let's take a closer look. So what I can see is nice materials here at the door. I like the trim at the top. Even the stereo looks like great quality and a nice design. It is of course the Harman Kardon surround sound system. Here at the bottom, the M135 emblem. Sport seats fitting nicely in the 135i. So let's take a seat. Comfortable seats. The steering wheel has a nice M emblem at the bottom. Buttons on the left side for the cruise control. On the right side for the sound, the phone and voice control. Pedal shifters behind the steering wheel. Beautiful air vents as well. A nice trim here above. A virtual cockpit in front of you and a nice large infotainment screen in the middle. Great quality overall. So let's hit the engine button to start the electronics, and we can see the cockpit in front of us. On the left side showing how much gas you have, and in the middle we can see the infotainment screen, which we can control with either touchscreen. So for example, I can press home, and we can also control it with the hardware controller, which feels very nice to the touch, to be honest. And of course, some things we can control with the buttons over here, but not everything. Down below we have the buttons to put the dynamic select in either Sport, Comfort or Eco Pro. So for example, I pressed Sport and you can see the dynamic settings. You can put it in standard, individual, and you can configure the individual for Sport. Navigation. Let's take a look at the map. Seems like a very decent navigation. So overall in the interior it is very decent quality. Very luxurious, apart from it being very sporty. But still a lot more spacious than the predecessor. I have a lot more leg room, a lot more headroom, and a lot more space overall. So whether it's a good idea to step away from the iconic rear wheel drive, I will leave that up to you. So down below we have a phone charger right there, 2 cup holders, a USB slot. The hardware controller actually comes with a lot of easy to use shortcut buttons such as media, home and map. We can open this up to reveal a USB-C slot over there, some extra space over here, of course some more space over there, and at the door we also have a cup holder and some extra space. This car in particular comes with the panoramic roof. Simply push this button for it to open up. It's larger than I expected, to be honest. This is a true chick magnet. So to close it up, simply push it forward. So now probably the question most of you have is, how much space does it actually have in the rear seats? Because of course we know that with the 1 Series from before, some people were a little bit cramped up in the back. So let's take a look. To give you guys a better look, I've put the camera outside. So let's start with the actual space. Okay, so this one has the panoramic roof, so that usually means a little bit less space. As you can see, the roof is a little bit lower over here, but then there comes a gap where my head is, and I can tell you I'm not touching the roof at all, and I'm about 1 meters and 80 centimeters, which is 5 foot 10.5, 5 foot 11 or something. So I'm not touching the roof. I have enough leg space, and the seat is in the driving position. I'm actually quite comfortable in the back, and I'm leaning a bit backwards, so it's not a very upright seat as well. Still, you can change the seating position from the rear seats to increase even more trunk space, but I like this position a lot. Back here we have of course the air conditioning, but below that we have 2 USB-C slots to charge your phone with. So guys, I hope you liked the review of this new model of BMW, the BMW 1 Series, the M135i, and I hope to see you guys next time with my other videos. So please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.